Hello there and welcome to DBD, a guide for survivors. Today we will be going through some in-game scenarios from chase sequences to flashlight saves all the way to end-game strategies. All in the hopes of making you a better teammate and making solo queue just a little bit more bearable. Number 1. Number 1 is going to be, if you go down next to a wall, just crawl away from it. Whether you saw if your teammates have a flashlight or if they don't, you never know if they could find one inside of a chest and come to back you up in your moment of need. So if you go down by a wall, just crawl away from it. Number 2 is knowing the distance you have to be while injured in order for the killer not to be able to hear you within their radius. I see people misplay this when they're going for flashlight saves as well as healing within the killer's terror radius. So here are some examples in the distance you want to stay away from.
I gotta be all the way over here though and then run over there. Got it? Oh my god. It's the only way. I had to play that distance. If I played any closer, we'd lose that.
And to put it into better perspective for you, I went into a custom match, injured a survivor, and kept them at a distance so you can see how much you can actually hear a survivor and from about what distance. Number 3 is going to be when you should and should not take a body block for your teammate. There are always good and bad times to do that. You just have to figure out exactly when to do it and when not to do it. I'm going to show you when and exactly how to. In this clip, you'll see me stop and use the environment, the trees, the rocks in order to stop Blight from moving forward. Using the environment is a great way to stop the killers from pressuring your teammates. And in this scenario, you'll see that I actually don't intervene until my teammate drops the pallet. Typically, you should allow your teammates to loop something first before jumping in to help them out in the chase. Legion does not break the pallet. They continue to go around. I make sure to allow the Jake to loop the tightest part of that loop on the inside of the pallet, as well as the walls themselves of that loop. He then runs through the door where Lori and I body block, which are one of the best body blocks you could possibly do in DBD because the killer is now forced to hit you. Legion then changes her mind and goes for Lori, where now I protect Lori on her exit. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you also have matches like this where you kind of just have to freestyle a bit and use the environment to try to save your teammates. This one was a crazy one.
She doesn't have hatchets. She doesn't have hatchets. Go, 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 go. Oh my god, oh my god. No, oh my god. Sir, sir, sir. Oh my god, he's crazy. What is he doing? Is he trying to get a dead hard? Oh my god, she blocked. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Here's an example where a teammate didn't go for a body block on me, but instead actually went for a flash bang save. And had they actually just body blocked for me, I probably would have gained distance, but instead this is what happened.
Bruh, what the?
Number 4 is probably the most common DBD survivor mistake I see today. Killers have about 15 seconds to make it to a hook. And in that time, you'll very often see survivors come up and try to take hits even if the hook is directly next to the killer. Effectively, what this survivor is doing is giving away free health states as well as giving the killer more pressure in their next chase. In this next scenario, you'll see a survivor who's on death hook being carried by the killer, have 2 survivors with no hooks throw themselves at the killer with 1 gen left. Instead of them doing gens, they effectively give this killer the opportunity to completely win the match in about a 20-second window.
This is what I mean. Like, you gotta know when to just like kind of relax a little bit. Whole match thrown there.
And sometimes in cases like this scenario, you'll get a bit lucky.
Damn, that hook is so close. Oh, that's good. All right, we take hits. We take hits. We take hits. Take the hit. Where's the other person? Oh my God, that's huge. Yes. Oh my God, brother, please. Oh my God. Put her down, man. Oh, Jesus.
Number 5 has been around forever and a day. But still, you see people get this wrong. It's very simple though, the heel tech. Once your teammate gets hit, allow them to crawl for a second or two on the floor, then you start healing them. The killer is not able to pick them up because you are in the middle of an action with said survivor. Once the killer hits you one time, allow that survivor to crawl forward a few paces, and then you heal them again. If you have a full team and you're right next to the door, you can easily get out of a situation where you could have maybe gotten a 1K, but you all escape. Number 6, and what probably makes DBD are the mind games. A lot of times people ask me, hey, how do you know when to fake the pallet drop? How do you know when to fake a window? How do you know when to continue looping? How do you know that when they're going to respect? How do you know when to double back, etc.? You don't. It's literally all mind games. Sometimes you'll have cues of whether you see a killer moonwalk, their light being shown in certain directions. Honestly, you'll take a lot of cues from the killer as well, depending on how they're playing. The more hours you have, the more you can tell if a killer is a bit newer to the game, and you can tell you can get away with more things than other times. But it's all a guessing game. No one truly knows. And sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. Very oftentimes, I think all of us will see a lot of videos where we're successful with said mind games, but there are way, I wouldn't say more, but there are a lot of videos where we're also very unsuccessful. It's a 50-50 chance of who's gonna win, and the best way to get better with it is just to take those chances and to keep swinging.
Can I make it to Shack?
And for those of you who might be a little bit scared of taking chase and rather just do gens, I promise you it's the best part of DBD, and the only way to get better with it is honestly to, in fact, take more chases. Maybe try using perks like Windows of Opportunity. Is probably one of the best perks out there, especially if you're new to the game or even if you have a lot of time with the game, because what that does is it enables you to see all the window vaults as well as pallets, and if a pallet was used in a certain section of the map, then you know to avoid that in your upcoming chase. It allows you to use a pallet loop as well as then connect it with a window vault next to you, and it kind of opens up your mind to what is in the environment and how you can best use it if you just give it an opportunity. And very oftentimes there are moments where maybe we're not taking chase because we don't feel that confident, but it's the only way to get better. And at that too, if you have no hooks, let's say, but then the rest of your team has all the hooks, you need to now come in and save your team. If you don't come in and take that chase, chances are you're still also going to lose as well, because if the killer ends up killing one player, it's very likely, with a lot of gens left that is, it's very likely he's going to get all of you at one point or another. Maybe you get hatched and maybe you don't, but I think ultimately the best thing to do is to get better with these situations. This is why I'm making this video, and hopefully it's helping so far. If you do like this video while you're still watching, please do me a favor, like, maybe share it to somebody, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Also, again, we do stream on Twitch 5 p.m. EST almost every single day, so come and check us out. Now let's move on to number 7.
Yoink! No! Drop it! Oh my God!
Number 7, and probably one of my favorite things to do with DBD, is the FOV tech, also known as the yoink. The way that I use the FOV tech in particular is I actually kind of try to have my character kiss the killer right when we meet the corner of a wall. You'll see me in almost every clip here mostly do it at corners of walls. As they're coming around the corner, I try to throw my character at them to make it seem as if I'm trying to run behind them, and it happens in such a quick instance. That's why you see the killers turn around and swing, is because they think I just ran behind them. So you use their own camera to fool them a bit, and that's where you see a lot of this success. It doesn't always work out, but there are a lot of moments here where I'll get an exit because of it. I'll get to a pallet, so forth and so on, and you should try it too. I can find one. I don't think I have one here. Oh my god. And this side so I can get to the other pallet too. It's perfect. Not on this side though. Crap. Yoink. That's crazy. I'm going straight to that door. Open that shit up, kid. Open that shit up. Oh my god. I make it. Let's go. Oh, I hate this room so much. Try this. Alrighty. He's so fast, bro. Yoink. Yoink. And last but certainly not least is not turning your camera around and leaving loops way too early. About once a week, I have this thing on my channel where I do on Twitch. It's viewers versus viewers matches. I have 4 survivors who are viewers come in and go against 1 viewer who's the killer. People just, for channel points, come in, spend X amount of channel points to get in the games, and we watch the killer kill the survivors or the survivors escape, etc. The most common mistakes that I see within these matches is, number 1, that a lot of survivors are not comfortable with flipping their camera while they're in the middle of chase. And that is one of the biggest mistakes you can possibly make. I've seen it way too often, and that leads to so many misplays because, again, the killer is either cutting you off or moonwalking you, etc. You drop a pallet, but the killer already walked around the other side and is getting right to you. So that is like number 1, the biggest mistake that I see when I watch viewers versus viewers. And the second biggest mistake, by far, is a survivor leaving a pallet before the pallet is even dropped. Maybe the killer loses line of sight of the survivor for half a second and they decide to walk away, or you'll also see that the survivor will just run right past a pallet, either not noticing that it was there or thinking they can make more distance. Either way, a misplay of the situation and ultimately ending in the downfall of said team that was playing at the time. One thing that you need to get more comfortable with is, number 1, taking these chases, right? And outside of that, what is going to make you more comfortable, what's going to help you is to maybe run something like windows of opportunity, as we said beforehand. That is going to help you tremendously. Maybe adjust. People ask me all the time what my sensitivity is. It's actually not as high as you may think it is. It's at 75. I never have it much higher than 75 nowadays. Every spin that I do, everything you see ever from me is at 75 on controller. By the way, I do not play mouse and keyboard for Survivor, but I do play mouse and keyboard for Killer. So maybe adjust that in your gameplay and you'll see some absolute differences simply by turning your camera around and by having a little bit more faith in your loops and staying with the palette and just trying to loop it properly. Practice does not make perfect, but it does make better. Listen, I hope that this has helped you, even if just a little bit. And if it did, again, a like or subscribe would help tremendously. Again, we also do stream on Twitch almost every day at 5 p.m. EST. Come and check us out. We have a good time over there. This weekend, actually, the day that this goes live, we are doing a charity event for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It's going to be a big old tournament that a bunch of us are going to be a part of. Much love. And if you enjoyed this type of content, please let me know in the comments below. I'll be glad to make some more of these if they actually do help you guys. Much love. You got this. You got this. I believe. You might not have this, but you have the door. Alright, you might not have the door, but you're gonna at least loop the shit out of him. Alright, maybe you didn't loop the shit out of him, but like, your name is dope though. Your name is good though. That was good. It was good though. It was good. That was all you could really do there though. You know what I'm saying?